77% more pixels. It's unbelievable. And it's in the same all aluminum enclosure, the same one-piece aluminum stand, the same FireWire and USB built in. And this display is going to sell for $3,299. And it's going to be available in August. Now, this display only works with the Power Mac right now. And it only works with the Power Mac because we've had to engineer an entirely new graphics card to drive it. No graphics card could drive a display with this many pixels. And we've worked with NVIDIA, and we are driving it with the GeForce 6800 Ultra graphics chip. It's a graphics card. It's a new graphics card. Yeah, I know. And this graphics card features a new technology because one DVI connection isn't enough to drive this display. So we needed two. It has what's called dual link on it, which is two DVI connections running in parallel, because one DVI connection would only give you that. And so we need two to fill up the display. But it's even cooler, because we didn't just stop at one dual link. This card has dual link. And so you can have 8 million pixels off one Power Mac. $8 million pixels being driven off one Power Mac, and the really tiny bezel width comes in real handy when you put these things together. So we think we're going to be able to satisfy our creative professional customers for a little while with these new displays. 8 million pixels. The NVIDIA graphics card is going to cost $599. It is also going to be available in August. And so these are our three new displays, 20, 23-inch, and 30-inch. The 30-inch requires the new NVIDIA graphics card as well. And 1.7, 2.3, and 4.1 million pixels. Of course, that can be 8.2 if you want to drive two displays. It's really pretty amazing. And so what I'd love to do is show them to you now. So could I bring up the 20 and the 23-inch displays, please? You'll see them throughout the conference, but I wanted to get you to have a first look right here. They're really beautiful. And let's go ahead and bring up the 30. This thing is huge. We used to dream about this stuff. Now we get to build it. It's pretty great. And the quality of these displays is better than anything we've ever built, better than anything else on the market. And I think when you get a chance to see one, it blows your mind. Yeah, first time I saw one of these, I couldn't talk for the first minute. So. All right, our new displays. Let's take them away. So, we've got our 20-inch, our 23-inch, and our new 30-inch displays. Amazing. Now, I'd like to talk about Panther. Switch gears, let's talk about software. Panther we introduced a year ago. We shipped last fall with an amazing collection of new features. And Panther was extremely well received. Critically, best reviews we've ever had. This is one from Business Week. With this latest revision, I think OS X is the best operating system available to consumers. It's easy to use and takes far more advantage of the power of today's computers than the 8-year-old design of Windows. That was Business Week a year ago. In addition to the critical reviews, Panther's the most successful release in Apple's history, the most successful OS release both in units and revenues that Apple's ever had. 12 million people now use OS X. 12 million, that's half of our installed base. There's no other OS release in the world that's new that has half of its installed base using it. It's huge. And we have 12,000 native applications, and more coming every day, a whole bunch being introduced here at the conference this week. So thank you guys. And we can now say that the transition to OS X is over. With half our installed base using it and 12,000 applications. It's been a lot of work for us and for you over the last 4 or 5 years. Thank you. The transition is now over. Now, this is an amazing accomplishment, and I think it's worth it to step back and reflect on this just for a minute, because this is very rare in our industry. Matter of fact, in the entire history of the PC industry, there have only been 3 major OS transitions, ever. Let's look at them. The first one was in the 80s, right? The Apple II to the Mac, the original Mac OS. Took years. Started in 1984. Next, a decade later, when Microsoft finally copied the Mac well enough, DOS to Win95. Right? Started in 1995 and took several years. The third transition started this decade, early in this decade, and we can now say that it's over. Mac OS to OS X. And there will be an attempt at the fourth major transition in our industry, which will be Win95 and its successors to Longhorn, which is quite a bit different. Their Mac OS to OS X transition equivalent, starting in 2006 or 7. And you know, it's a lot of work. So we've just completed the third, only the third transition of OSs in our entire industry, and I think we should all take a moment and just pat ourselves on the back, because it's an amazing accomplishment. The transition is over. Now, I want to go back to the 12,000 native applications today, and I want to just mention a few. Number one, got to start off with Microsoft Office. Microsoft introduced a new version of Office not long ago, Office 2004, and it's great. Matter of fact, most of the reviewers are saying it's better than their Windows version. And I ran into Bill Gates, had dinner with him at a conference a few weeks ago, and he told me that his company feels that their relationship with Apple is better than ever. And I told him our group feels the same way. The Mac business unit is doing phenomenal work, and we couldn't be happier. And you ought to check out Office 2004. Now, also at the conference, Borland is introducing their Java development tools on OS X. Quark recently introduced QPS, Quark Publishing System, on OS X. Oracle is introducing 10G, the grid version of their database, on OS X this week. PeopleSoft is certifying all their apps on OS X. I've tried to get them as far apart of Oracle as I could on the slide. And Sun is introducing their Java development environment on OS X as well. So tons of stuff is getting introduced this week. I want to highlight a few of them, though, and I want to start off with Alias. Alias has recently spun out from SGI. They're their own company now. They dropped the wavefront, got a new logo, and it's my pleasure to welcome on stage Bob Bennett, the general manager of Alias, who's going to tell us about some new developments. Welcome, Bob.
Thanks, Steve. Did you say 8 million pixels?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Fill them up.
Unbelievable. Where is that damn thing? Listen, when Alias first announced that Maya Complete was coming to OS